Hello, hello, hello. It is Tuesday evening, my friends. How are you? It is That's Amore time. I'm going to bring myself solo first so everybody knows what the hell I'm doing here. It is That's Amore powered by Stables Media, 8 p.m. every Tuesday. Myself, the host, the star of the show, Lady D. There she is, Lady D. What's happening? We're
What's
gonna
going
get back to
on,
you. And
everyone?
the other star of the show, who happens to be mourning right now. He's still wearing the hat, but we're gonna bring him on. There he is, the great lady Mike Gallo. Mikey, what's happening? That's all right,
I
buddy.
got Brady tears. They're not frozen though. I got Brady tears.
Hey, your buddy. By the way, we're gonna go back to a three format here. Your buddy's called it. He said that you're gonna be crying. By the way, I'm gonna take the hat off. It is butt cold out here in Poway.
Yeah,
We had a little bit of hail, a little bit of rain, and a lot of coldness. So if I put my hat on, that's it. I got my earmuffs. We're gonna go on that. But Mikey, we're gonna
yeah.
go. We're gonna go to you first. We got Stephanie, Miss Stephanie, who has a great show coming on tomorrow. I'm not gonna even say anything about it because I want her to talk about it once we bring her in here in a couple minutes. So Stephanie, hold on tight. Comb that hair. Make sure you're all ready to go for Lisa D because she wants
Oh,
she wants to make
Lisa,
sure you're ready, girl. All
the
right,
beautiful hottie.
Mikey,
I'm in
I'm
my
gonna go. To,
pajamas.
I'm gonna
I'm
go to
ready to
you
go to
first.
bed.
Hey, we're gonna talk. Hopefully, we get Severs on because we're gonna sit there and have that. We got a comment. Here. Let me go to that comment real quick here. Happy Tuesday to everybody from our friends from Stables Media. There we go. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. By the way, guys, powered by Stables Media. I know I didn't say this. I don't know we should do it more. Couple shout outs I want to say before we get into the gist of the show, which is about nothing but something. I love the show. I love you guys. You guys are the stars of the show. But I want to send a couple shout outs to my buddies. Craig Ellis, his birthday today. Ex NFL has been our show on SoCal SmackDown. Thanks to Joe. I appreciate it.
Happy
So, and
birthday!
by the way, if you guys heard him and I talk side by side and you didn't see our pictures, you would think that we're brothers. You close your eye. You close your eyes. You would think that we were related because we talk exactly the same. It's like he's got the same little list, the same thing. You could ask Joe, but great guy. So I wanted to send out a shout out to him. Birthday. My son's birthday is coming up this Thursday. He'll be 8. So we're gonna do
Russo!
a little bit. Rocco. Rocco's birthday is 8, so he's gonna
Rocco!
Rocco T. We're gonna do a little birthday for him tomorrow night, and we'll do a main birthday for him Friday. Because Thursday I have to bring my little guy to get his eye appointment. That being said, for everybody out there, thank you for watching. We appreciate it. We love you. Um, let's go to Gallo. Let's talk to him, and then after I'm gonna bring Miss Stephanie in, and we're gonna talk about what's going on in the world and what's happening. So Gallo, we're gonna bring you on the solo. What the hell happened to Packers, man?
A couple of things happened. Let's put it this way. We got Brady.
Discount checked.
We
Brady.
got Brady. We got Brady, and I've come to terms with that. We got Brady. But overall, the thing is, you know what? I'm still a cheesehead, and all this noise about Rodgers not wanting to stay in Green Bay, it's a joke. The media is just stirring up this soap opera drama, and I'll be honest. Hi, Joe. We miss you, babe.
Hi, Joe.
Bottom line is, here's the situation. Rodgers is staying. A couple of things happened in this game. A couple of players just decided to have their worst performance of this game. First of all, Aaron Jones fumbled once. Luckily, the tight end Robert Tonyan jumped on it, was right there to recover the first fumble.
Twice.
And then to start the second half, he takes another lick as we get the ball to start the second half.
Mm-hmm.
Fumbles the ball. It was an injury. I get it. He didn't come back. I mean, maybe he hurt his butt. I don't know. But he should have came. This is the NFC Championship game. Get back in the game. I'm a little upset about that. But anyways, that cost us a touchdown. We're down 28-10. Rodgers, I had confidence that he'd come back, and he did.
All right, let me interrupt you. Let me interrupt you because I know you're hot right now, and I don't want that cheese to melt off your head because then you have to go to the shower. So I want you to hold off there for a second. What the hell happened? And I'm going to go to Lisa on this one. What the hell happened at the end of the half, Lisa,
I don't know. I
with
was
Brady
watching a
throwing
pet
that
rover.
fourth and one, and instead of going for the field goal, he goes for it, and he throw it wide open, man, with 8 seconds left. What are you doing?
It was third down. It wasn't fourth. It was third.
Well, whatever it was, third, fourth. No, because they were going to go. They were going to go with the field goal, and they decided not to. And Brady kept him on there. It was fourth down.
Oh, you're right.
It was toward the end of it was the last play of the half.
Oh, I know that play.
Right. Well, yeah, you know that play. They probably cost you to go over.
Would you think that was a coaching call mistake? You think they should have went for the field goal instead of trying to go for a touchdown? Or
No, I'm talking about Brady's game when they sat there and actually went for it on fourth and one. He said, "No, let's stay on there," and he threw that touchdown pass, and the guy was wide open. Even the announcers, Troy Aikman, said, "Why aren't you playing prevent defense? Don't let anybody behind you." And instead, they let everybody behind them.
I went out for the McGregor fight, and I had the worst hangover. So I didn't.
Moving on. You didn't watch the game.
I didn't. I watched for the first.
Oh my
half.
God! Dude.
I didn't.
All right,
the second.
you don't count right now because you didn't watch the game. I watched every play.
We're gonna keep her out of this for Lisa. You just if this is a show about not. Thank you, Lisa. We love your shirt, by the way. I love that.
Hey, and I want to talk about the McGregor fight too because I watched that fight. That was a crazy fight.
That was crazy.
So let's finish up with the Packers first.
No, I need to.
Right. Get it off your chest. Get it off your chest, and then I want to ask you, and then we're gonna bring Miss Stephanie in, and we're gonna bring her in and have a round robin because she knows her football too.
Right.
She loves her balls, so she knows how to play football. So we're gonna get her in on that.
Right.
So,
she don't like balls.
No, but here's what I'm gonna say. To me, a complete I know that's a good one. That's a good one, but I need to get this out right now. Here's what's going on.
Okay, get it out, Mike.
Mike, let me put you on solo. Lisa, do I have to
blow me up?
Do I have to? Hey, Lisa, do I have to sit there and mute you?
Don't you play with no freaking the little thing, the control.
Okay, we won't play.
Go ahead.
You blow it up.
All right. Okay, I'm turning the hat backwards. I'm going to explain something here. Was this game scripted? As my buddy Brian Siever, that's supposed to be on the show, was saying, he called this thing. It was starting to look like that later in the game and at the end of the second half. Why are we in a prevent defense there? I don't know. I think they're Matt LaFleur and Patine, the defensive coordinator, were worried about them getting the first down and then kicking a field goal because I think Tampa Bay had a timeout in the bucket. I could be mistaken. Did they? I don't know. But there's no way in hell that you got to have two guys back there just for that play alone to cover anybody going deep. That was a complete letdown. But it just seemed like I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers had a plan to pick on that guy King. King had the worst game of his career in the NFC Championship game. The defense lost that game, in my opinion. But on the flip side, in the second half, you intercept Brady 3 times or 2 times, whatever it may be. You get the ball back, just come back and tie the game up, and you fail and go 3 and out. So to me, the Packers just picked another bad day to have another bad game, but it's a glaring, obvious thing. I feel like the Packers are the Notre Dame Fighting Irish of the NFL.
Okay, so let me ask you this, because Lisa obviously didn't watch the game, which you think that she would have, and then I'll bring Stephanie in, and then I've got some comments I got here, some questions and comments from our viewers. But what the hell were they thinking not going for it on 4th down on the 8? Even if they didn't make it, Mike, hold on, let me ask you this. Even if they didn't make it, you pinned them deep in their own territory, and now you still have 3 timeouts. You still got some time left. No matter what, you need 2 scores. Either if you make it, you got to score and get 2 points, or if you don't make it, you still hopefully get the ball back.
I agree. I agree.
Field goal and game's over.
Yeah.
And then they had a bad call at the end there, which I have to say it was a bad call.
Yeah, I mean, you got to admit the refs let these guys play. I didn't see any holding calls when there was clearly some holdings going on the offensive line. There was a lot of stuff. They're letting the boys play. I'm okay with that. But what sticks out is when a ref has to end the game, and that's what I can't stand in the NFL or in college as well. But 4th down. I analyzed this to death. The analytic, if you want to get analytic about it, just like baseball is now, well, guess what? Football is analytic now too. They looked at the analytics and they said they had a better chance at kicking that field goal and having the 2-minute warning and 3 timeouts. They did have 3 timeouts. Now, granted, I look at that 3rd down play and it's been hurting. It hurts my head. It hurts my heart. Rodgers ran a ball in to the corner of the end zone against the Rams. Instead, on this 3rd down play, Dominic Sue was right behind him. He might have grabbed him from behind. It would have been 4th down and maybe 5, 4th down at the 5-yard line, 4th down at the 2-yard line, or even a touchdown. We will never know.
Absolutely correct. Let me jump in and absolutely correct. That play, and they showed it in a replay. He had a clear shot to the end zone, but again, he doesn't run very fast. So it might have been, like you said, instead of 4th and 8, it might have been 4th and 3, 4th and 4, an easier play to play. I don't even care if it's 4th and 8. You still got to go for that shot because you know what? You didn't get the ball back. I don't care if you have 3 timeouts. You're not stopping their defense. The defense is not stopping them.
Yeah.
And then, unfortunately, there was that play at the end that they thought they stopped them on 3rd down, and it cost them, it got them a first down because of technical, holding play on there, which I think was BS because, like you said, they allowed everybody to play throughout that whole game. And then all of a sudden, one play towards the end, you take your flag out, which can make the difference. Let them play. Let them win the right way. And I'm not taking any credit away from Tom Brady. He played magnificent, great team. Same thing with Rodgers. But that last play kind of put a damper. Like, wait a minute. I think a lot of people would have loved to see Aaron Rodgers one shot try to go down and make it or break it.
I agree. And I agree there, too. I just think Patine and Matt LaFleur were thinking, you know what? We've already picked off Brady 3 times, and he thought their defense was holding Tampa Bay, which I almost said Notre Dame. Green Bay did win the second half. They were winning the second half, but you're absolutely right. I mean, why you have the MVP of the league? You got to go for it on there. You got to go for it there. You got to, and if you don't, you still got those timeouts, and you can still stop them and maybe have a chance to drive down and score again. So it's frustrating, and now it's blatantly obvious.
It's a Monday morning quarterback. I mean, obviously we can't. So let me do some shout outs here. We got hold on a second. Let me get over here because I'm still working on the technical difficulty side of it because my hands are big.
Happy birthday, David!
I want to give a shout out to David. He had his birthday last week also. He also says give love to Tony, Lisa, and Mike. All my love the Roosters. I appreciate David. You know how much you love. I saw David today. Stephanie, he's in Stables. Thank you, and we love Joe too. We all do. We got Taylor Phelps. Taylor is one of our shows on the networks, Michigan Sports Truth Podcast. It is a awesome show. Thank you. Appreciate it, Taylor, for your support.
What's up, Taylor?
We've got also, right, he says I'm the best. I'll read that, even though I'm humble. No, I'm not the best host in the world. I've got the best. No, here's the deal, guys. I've got the best team surrounding me that it makes my job easier. So you love Joe. And then here we got Kayla, my love. Go for it. Bonehead move up. She even ate. Kayla, by the way, Kayla happens to not like the Packers. Kayla is in love with the Packers.
Oh.
So I agree with you, Kayla. And Kayla, thank you. But she's right. It was a bonehead move. Kevin King didn't help either. Yep, absolutely correct. Now, let me ask you this, Gallo, and then we'll go to Lisa. Let me bring Miss D. She's been waiting long enough. Let's bring her.
Yeah, bring her in.
Yeah, let's bring her in. Now, here goes the show. Now, here goes the second best host of the world. Come on, let's go. Here he comes. There she is. There she is.
Hi.
Hi, Stephanie.
Hello.
Hi, guys.
Hey, Stephanie, you playing with your pussycats back there?
No.
Oh, I just
Here,
wondering.
kitty.
Just wondering if you fed the cats. That's all.
So, if you really knew what was happening today, you would apologize. I almost put my cat down today.
Oh, there you go. See, I always happen to put my foot in my mouth. Now, hold on a second. You and I are very close friends.
Yes.
I text you
beforehand.
You could have easily said, "Hey, Tone, you know what? Had a little tough day." And no, instead of not saying that, you make me put my foot in my mouth, and now I feel like a complete, you know what?
He's turning red. Look how red he's turning.
Yeah, he did. So here's the thing. I said I almost did. As of last night, she wasn't eating. She's 17 years old. So I'm not going to bring
that's a
down
full-
the show.
Wow.
She's 17. She's been with me. She's my best friend. Okay, that's stupid for people to think, but she's been everywhere with me. She's gone through girlfriends with me. She's gone through jobs with me. But the last 2 days, she hasn't been eating very well. We knew there's problems with her mouth. And so last night I came to a God moment and prayed about it and made an appointment for her to go down today. And I woke up at 6 something this morning and she was sitting at my door hungry as hell. So
Cool.
I
So
fed
you
her.
canceled the appointment.
Yeah, I fed her. I watched her all day. I have to wipe her mouth afterward because she has food hanging because she doesn't know, she can't use her mouth anymore. And by, I would say, early afternoon, I looked at her. She said she wasn't ready, and so I canceled the appointment.
There you go. That's good.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you know what the best part of that story is, because obviously the cat's living, but half of my foot is out of my mouth now.
See, you didn't know because I didn't want to bring it up.
I love you, Stephanie, and I hope you know what. I know I give my daughter a hard time about being cat late because my daughter is obviously 9. She loves cats. She's got 2. I said, we talked about it, sleeping with them and all that, not the right thing, and I love animals. So I think, you know what, an animal becomes an extended part of your family.
Right.
But, it's hard. I mean, like you said, 17 years.
Think about it. That's 17 years of a relationship that you come home to, you cater to, you buy stuff for, when they're sick, you're sick. When you're sad, they're sad. I mean, it's a part of your life. As much as everybody wants to say, I'm a strong, badass man and I'm a badass woman and I could give a frick if my cat, ran away. You know what? You try 17 years with the same animal and you'll see. So I'm a little puffy today, but I'm good. I'm happy. And I have to bring up when you were talking about Lady D being all dolled up. I don't know if you guys heard this. She goes, I'm in my pajamas. I'm ready for bed for Stephanie. And I went, wait, what? Did she really just say that?
Oh my God.
You did.
I didn't hear it, but you know what? Well, this is one more something.
I'm just saying, I heard it. That's her pajamas. She's ready for bed. You brought me on. We talked about dolled up. And then she said, no, I don't like balls. Was it balls? I don't like balls.
Yeah, you did that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I did say you don't like balls.
I was listening.
Speaking of balls,
Yes.
we're gonna go back to football here in a second.
Okay.
Dallas.
I lost 2 by the way this weekend. I lost some money on both games.
So we'll try. Actually, the only thing that covered me was when I went against what I did. So I basically second half. But we'll talk about that later.
Right.
But let's talk baseball a little bit.
Okay.
Today, Hall of Fame usually get inductions. You get people that are inducted in the Hall of Fame. 0. Nobody. Mikey, let's go to you first. Let's get your take because you're the insider on this. I want to hear about the 3 guys, and I'm going to tell you a little bit first, because I'm obviously being the host, I'm going to throw it out here. Kurt Schilling told the reporters he'd care less about being on the ballot next year. Take them off. They're not the guys that he wants to have them inducted by. He wants his own peers or veterans, as they call it. So he said, please take me off in a non-polite way. Posted on the internet, social media. He said, go after yourself. What do you think?
You know what? Kurt Schilling, this is what bugs me about the Hall of Fame. I'm not a Hall of Fame pitcher. I mean, I might make the ballot in like 50 years. I don't know if they let left-handed specialists get in there. But but overall, along with Kurt Schilling, I was teammates with Roger Clemens. The PED era, Barry Bonds is another one. These guys all denied adamantly that they didn't knowingly take steroids, which I'm going to call bullshit. Major League Baseball did allow these guys to take it until, I shouldn't say, they just turned a blind eye to it because after the strike, baseball was losing a lot of money. Fans were not coming back. And then hence you got the Bash brothers, McGuire and Sosa coming in. McGuire and Sosa, basically behemoths, took roids, HGH, and brought the game back. Schilling, on the other hand, is an interesting thing because he's getting ridiculed for after his career.
Right.
I mean, this guy had an unbelievable career. He's on social media. I'm on social media. I've been called a racist. I've been called a a couple of unbelievable names because I supported a certain president. And it's really disturbing. And the liberal media that we have now will lynch you, will literally lynch you. And social media is so powerful. So Schilling's getting lynched by that liberal media. So hence, I wouldn't want that liberal media to decide if I can get into the Hall of Fame. I want my peers and I want my other baseball dudes to, if they have the access to vote, to see if I can get in.
Right.
If they say no, then you know what? He's good with it.
Okay.
But
I agree.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me go to Stephanie, and then we'll go to Lady D here. So the point of him saying with the social media, because we talked about this before, how social media can distort what people say. You can say one thing, and it turns out to be a wildfire.
Mhm.
Kurt Schilling, his antics off the field, especially after he retired, to me should mean nothing about what you do
Correct.
for going to the Hall of Fame.
Right.
Otherwise, half of those people up there, honestly, that are inducted in the Hall of Fame should probably be yanked out, because I guarantee you, if you open that closet up, a lot of skeletons will come out.
Oh,
The only, and the only reason why I don't think that the skeletons haven't come out is because back then they didn't have the social media. They didn't have the telephones as we do now, where we can take a picture in an instant by just pressing it real quick, and oh, I got you. So, Stephanie, let me ask you this. We're talking about images. We're talking about social media. What's your take, and not even just in sports, in general,
Sure.
on that?
No, I agree with you. It isn't the Hall of Fame supposed to, and I don't follow baseball a ton, but I know names. Of course, I know Kurt. I know, the stuff that we're talking about. Aren't you judged to go to the Hall of Fame based on your performance on the field? So, and like Tony just said, outside of the field, unless you, maybe if you murdered somebody or you did something a little bad, in that sense, then maybe they should look at it that you're not a great role model. But are you being judged as a role model? No, you're being judged because you were a damn good pitcher, a damn good catcher, a great first baseman. I understand exactly what he's saying, and I'm glad that he stood up and said no. I really am. I'm glad for anybody nowadays that can stand up with the balls. Yes, Lisa, I said balls. That they're standing up for what they believe in, because a lot, I would say, in so many years, everybody just kind of bowed down to the big man, kind of bowed down to everybody that was running baseball. And oh my gosh, if I say anything bad, then I'm not going to pitch next week, or they're not going to put me on ESPN or on the box of Wheaties, that kind of stuff. God, put your big girl panties on and suck your balls in your jock strap. Do whatever you need to do, but speak for yourself. God gives us one life, one. And when it's done, you're going to need to answer, did you live it to the fullest? Did you respect the life he gave you? Not Tony, not Lady D, Mike, I love you, but not you either. I have to answer to him if I did it right. Did I do it for me?
I agree with you.
I agree with everybody that stands up for what they believe in. And like I said, as long as you're not hurting somebody, as long as you're not hurting an animal, obviously, because we just talked about it, that kind of stuff, then let's just all stand up for what we believe in. And consequences are consequences. You don't get in the Hall of Fame, you don't get in the Hall of Fame, but you know what? You can go home to your wife and say that you stood up for what you believe in.
I agree. Let me ask this to Lisa here. Lisa, obviously, you've been in the betting world, and you've seen, things that you sometimes like, wow, is this rigged, or whatever it may be. But going based on what Stephanie just said, again, it is about the accomplishments that you've made on the field. And you know what? Maybe this is a touchy subject. We talk about O.J. Simpson.
No. Oh.
Well, wait, hold on.
I know.
Never mind off the field stuff. Probably one of the best running backs that ever played in football in his era. And even when I had Eric Dickerson on my show, he said the same thing.
Right, he did.
The guy was unbelievable. Now, off the field antics, you know what? I don't agree. I don't.
Right.
Well, I think he deserves what he should be getting, even more. But there's a fine line there. We're not the judge, the jury. He's been
Right.
judged by his peers. So, Lisa, let me ask you this.
My thoughts. Go ahead, Tony.
No, go ahead. No, I was going to say, is it right that people judge?
No, I don't think they should judge by what he stand up for. I think he's great that he stand up for himself because he is a great fucking baseball player.
Amen.
And I'm with everyone. Go ahead, tell him off. Yeah, because it's crazy. Yeah. How are they letting social media dictate him being in the Hall of Fame? Like, it's supposed to be how he played on field. It's not about none of our freaking thoughts. It's the players, the coaches, their team, how they feel on the field and how they were playing with them and how they can induct it and vote for him in. Not what we think. So yeah, I'm with y'all. I'm glad that he opened his mind and let everybody know how he feel. And I just think it's crazy how they let the media dictate everything now. I mean,
going back on that, Mike, I'm gonna bring you in here. Going back on the media side, what is it? And I never understood this because I didn't play professional ball, but I followed and I know a lot of ball players. What is it with the fact that the media inducts you into the Hall of Fame? What the hell? I mean, because they've seen you play? I don't understand that.
Yeah. And you know what? One of my teammates he gained a little bit more votes was Jeff Kent. I watched every player that got votes, and are they slowly climbing towards that magic number of I think 75% of the.
But Mike, let me interrupt you. They only have 10 years.
Yeah,
and 10 years for outside of once you retire, outside to be inducted by the writers or the people that are the committee they call them, and then you can get inducted by your peers.
Yeah, I understand that. Jeff Kent, from what I was told, was not a very likable guy by the media. He didn't like the media. The media didn't like him. He was really just a reserved kind of guy, and you can kind of see it now when it comes to the Hall of Fame. I think Jeff Kent was one of the all-time greatest second basemen to play this game. If he doesn't get in the Hall of Fame, it's because how his relationship with the media was. That has to change in baseball. And hence why I think that's why they have that, which I didn't know this, Tony, but they have another committee. Your friends and peers can vote you in. I didn't know that. I thought it was strictly the media. I got to look into that. But overall, the thing is, Curt Schilling did straight out just say he's attacking the media for how they are, and it's costing him now a chance in the Hall of Fame, which is not fair.
Well, let me read this comment here from Rob. Rob, how are you, buddy? Thanks for listening. We appreciate everybody that's listening out there. Powered by Stables Media. You're listening to That's Amore. The great Mike Gallo, the lovely Lisa D, special guest Stephanie, and myself hosting this great show every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Rob says, 100% agree. Stand up for what you believe in and be judged for what matters the most. What Schilling did between the lines on the mound. Greetings from Missouri. After all, he pitched with blood coming from his sock. I remember that game. He's big. I remember that game now. He did. He had blood coming, and wasn't he playing? Was he playing at that time, Mike, for the Arizona Diamondbacks? Was it Diamondbacks?
Diamondbacks.
Yeah, he was playing for the Diamondbacks. I remember that. Yeah, and he had blood coming out of his sock, and that was a playoff game or something like that. All these things coming back to my mind now.
I think it was. I mean, the guy's a bulldog. He needs to be in the Hall of Fame. It's just, it'd be a joke if he didn't get in. But you know what? He just came out and said, I don't want to be a sellout and get in as a kiss the media's butt to get in the Hall of Fame. There's no point in doing that. What he did on the field is good. It's not like he went out there and murdered somebody like O.J. Simpson did. I
have a question.
Okay, hold on, Steph. I'm going to come to you right now.
I just want to ask Mike a question really quick. And it's just because this comes from the people that are listening to this that might not know about the rules to getting into the Hall of Fame. So I didn't know that it was all media. So a couple questions. Has it always been the media that brings you into the Hall of Fame? First. Second, aren't they looking at stats? Because you can't just put somebody in for a popularity contest and say that Tony Gwynn didn't do this versus, somebody else, but don't stats get you into the Hall of Fame? So is this a new thing that the media gets you in? I guess I'm not quite understanding.
No, the baseball writers are the reason way into the Hall of Fame. There are 4 things listed, 4 or 5 things that the media looks at that get to vote. The sports writers get to look at on to getting a player into the Hall of Fame. Stats and is everything. Your stats are front and center.
Perfect. Right.
Yeah. Then second, it comes to how are you as a player? Integrity, or did you cheat or anything like that? Did you take steroids? Did you take roids?
Okay.
And then the third thing was another thing about your character, something about character. And Tony, maybe you can bring this up because I did see this. I don't have my computer in front of me, but there are 4 things the media looks at, and you got to pretty much hit each item. And Schilling's missed one of them, and it's just off the field integrity. Are you a captain of the game of baseball? Are you ambassador of the game? I don't know, but I said, Schilling's been really, really active on social media against everything. I mean, he said one thing that keeps getting printed in the press, and it's this statement right here: Muslims extremists are like the Nazis. And he said that, and oh my God, you would have thought Schilling killed somebody. And the way he should have said it was, the Muslim extremists that are terrorists that are killing innocent people and blowing up buildings, they're like the Nazis. That's the way I would have said it, versus just straight saying Muslim extremists. And the media has lynched him for it. Lynched him. It's so bad.
Well, he lost his. If I'm correct in understanding this, because he lost his job as an analyst for ESPN.
He did.
Yeah.
So he's not going to go to the Hall of Fame because of that one box was not checked.
He's close. I think he only missed it by 20 votes, Tony. I think
he got 71, 72%. He's gone up every year. But what his statement was, and he says on here, is that I respectfully decline to be put on the Writers Association ballot for next year.
Wow.
I'll wait another year because you have to wait 10 years, and then after that, he said, I'd rather have this is kind of like a synopsis of it. Says in jest, I'd rather have my peers and the veterans vote me in, or if they don't want to vote me in, then I understand they think that I didn't do a good enough job. Not these writers, because the writers didn't. And what he said was very, very, very true. And let me go here. Is that he said that the writers didn't play with him.
Right.
The writers watched him, and the writers didn't sit there and have in back with the ball players. It was Gallows. It was the guys that he played with. So big difference that people kind of assume that.
I don't like it.
Yeah,
I don't like it.
No, I don't like it either. I'm actually looking up, Mike, as we speak, what the requirements are for the Hall of Fame, because I know you're right. There is 4 different. It says right here.
I was just looking at it too.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Tony.
And I mean, here's my opinion on Bonds and Clemens. They put up god awful numbers. I mean, amazing numbers for the game of baseball. I mean, they got butts in the seats. When Clemens was on the mound, when Bonds was in the ballpark, the place was packed. Baseball made a lot of money off these guys, and in turn, these guys made a lot of money. But here's my thing. The Baseball Hall of Fame, in my opinion, should put a little area in the Hall of Fame where it says PED era, because there was a ton of baseball players that were taking PEDs. And the thing, they put up astronomical numbers, home runs. I mean, whatever case may be. You know what? I mean, I had teammates admit they took steroids. Andy Pettit said he took HGH.
Yeah.
And he got to still finish his career with the Yankees. I mean, look at A-Rod. A-Rod finally admitted he took stuff, and he's got a job on MLB. And, it's like the truth.
We should just tell the truth.
Yeah, the truth.
Exactly. So if they're inside the Hall of Fame and they have this big screen that's showing them hitting home runs and, doing this good for the community, let's say, but then the second screen says, well, he also went to prison for 40 years for killing his wife and 3 kids. You know what? Let's just tell the whole story at that point. He got in because he was a really, really good baseball player. And that's what you're supposed to do to get into the Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame of baseball, not the Hall of Fame of being a human being.
Life.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's put that on there so the kids that can walk through understand these are not icons that you are going to follow in their footsteps.
So
In baseball, they did great. But you know what? Maybe we should tell the real story.
I want to jump in on this real quick and
Sure.
and let people know, because I was reading this while you guys were talking. The rules are basically it's the members of Baseball Writers Association of America. These guys are newspaper writers, internet journalists, scholars, television and radio personalities.
Scholar.
Right. So they basically loosened up the rules to get these people to come in. Now, I don't know how they become scholars. I don't know how they become
They paid.
I guess you'd go to school for baseball. I mean,
No, they paid.
I want to read. I've got Rob. He's saying Willie Wilson once said, "Not everyone has to like you," and he's right. These pro players play the game to win the championship and be the best they can be. No professional ball player grows up saying, "I hope I am liked by the media." They envision themselves pitching or hitting Game 7 of World Series. Let's one play do the talking. Kurt pitching on his stats should tell you the answer whether he should be a Hall of Famer. I feel the same media and social media are angry people that most never played again. And I read that pretty fast, and he's right. But I actually called a friend of mine. Most of you don't really know this person, but he's going to come on. He actually works for a network, and I'm going to bring him on. Just in case he talks a lot, I'll mute him. But he's pretty knowledgeable in the baseball field. So let's bring him on.
Your drink, Mike.
Dad, bring him out.
Your drink.
Hold on. Let's get the right screen here, so that way everybody sees each other. There we go.
Who doesn't know me, Tony?
I don't know.
Who are you? Who's Basu?
Basu, did you get a vote?
I don't get a vote. I haven't covered a team for 10 years, so I don't get a vote.
Oh, okay.
So Basu, you know the end. One of the questions that we had was we saw that what Curt Schilling said today, that he no longer wants to be voted by the Writers Association, whatever it's called. That he'd rather have his peers, and he'll rather sit out one more year rather than go through the BS. And he put it out there on social media that I don't really care. What is the elements and what is the requirements for a person to get into the Hall of Fame based on the writers voting them in, not the peers?
How many people do you got to kill, Basu?
First of all, hi all. How is everybody? There are no standard requirements, Tony. It's just that Mike knows this as well as anybody. There are no standard requirements. It's who gets voted. It's the Hall of Fame for the very best players, not the exceptionally good players. It's the Hall of Fame of the very best players, and each person's criteria is different. It's like if I like blue and you like orange, I can't tell you that blue is better than orange because you like orange. It's the same principle. Or I can't like the Bears and Gallo can like the Packers. So that type of thing. So, so I had to get one dig in after Sunday since I lost my money on Green Bay.
Well, we'll talk a little bit about that. So, Basu, you're kind of sitting there, your take on this then is he could be a great player.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of reasons people don't get voted, Tony. I mean, Mike knows a lot of, like I said, Mike knows a lot of people too. There's a lot of guys that should have gotten in that probably didn't get in because they had some bad relationship or said the wrong thing or anything like that. Curt Schilling wants his peers. He hasn't retired that long ago. I'm trying to think of who his peers are in the next couple of years that are going to vote him in. I mean, his era is Mike Gallo's era in the 2000s. So there's not that many players from that era that have gone in, or a lot of them are still playing, depending on what you're talking about. But Curt Schilling's a different piece of work here to begin with.
Well, let me ask you this though. Yes, he is a piece of work, and he reminded me of one of the guys that we had down here. I can't remember right now his name.
Aubrey Huff.
No. Great pitcher, played for the Yankees, and they came and played the last year for the Padres. I can't think of it right now. But greatness should be rewarded. Just because you don't like the guy because he may wear his shoes differently, or he may sit there and look differently, or he may go out with different people, doesn't mean that the writers should sit there and say, no, we're not going to vote you in. Barry Bonds,
Mm-hmm.
Roger Clemens. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you know as well as I do, these guys are worthy to, okay, maybe they say the juiced area, but, you know, like Gallo said before, who didn't? They just hit it back then. Now they made them the poster child. Same thing with you know what? I'm blanking out. See, I'm thinking about so many things at one time. But you get all these guys that should be awarded, but they're gonna be kind of in a way executed by not being put on there. And again, it's not even their peers. And when you say peers, Basu, it's the players. And I don't think it has to be in their era. I think it's just the players in general. There's a certain amount of people that they allow certain votes to. Unlike the writers, you have to have certain credentials and so on and so forth. But you know, somebody made this point. And I'll go back to Gal on this. If I live in Southern California, I tend to watch more of the games in my district, Southern California, West Coast teams, correct?
Right.
If you live back east, you tend to watch more back east teams. So how would you be a reporter and know how good someone played in the West Coast, per se, if you're covering East Coast predominantly? Only by reading or watching ESPN?
No, you can't vote until you have 10 years. Until you have 10 years as a writer covering a team, in 10 years you're bound to see everybody.
So you're saying that each and every one of these writers that are voting right now is bound to see every player that's been inducted in this Hall of Fame. I don't believe that.
I mean,
yeah, they have to be a writer, a beat writer for a team for 10 years. So
for 10
years, right, Mike?
Okay,
you have 10 years.
I'll let you know, Tony. We had media that traveled with us on every road trip. The same people we saw on our road trips. So there was people that travel with every team. So they see the opposing team we play. They travel with us. So if those people have 10 years under their belt, then, or whatever, like you said, about, I mean, they're going to see these players and get to interview the visiting team. So I would assume that these people that get the vote probably did get to interview Kurt Schilling and those guys that, you know, I'm sure most of it. I would hope so.
All right, but let me ask you this though: you're saying that you had a reporter travel with you. If you're a predominantly West Coast team, before they had interleague play and all that, and even if interleague play, they only play a couple times a year. You don't get to see every single team. And if you're saying that you have to have 10 years under your belt as a writer, are you a writer for 10 different teams, Basu?
No, you're the beat writer for that team, but the idea of it is that you get to see every team. Now with interleague, you get to see everybody else. But now in this day and age, you see everybody. Everything's on TV. You see the box scores. You know who's good, who's not. You also talk to other writers from other teams because you're not just doing stories on your teams. You're doing stories for your market. So if the Houston Astros are interviewing Mike Gallo and the St. Louis Cardinals are coming into town, you're darn right the Astros beat writers are going to go talk to Albert Pujols and get as much as they can from him because they don't see him as much. So they're there to see. When Barry Bonds traveled around during the home run race, I would see, and I'm not a local writer for the Giants or anything, but I would see millions and millions of people come through from other teams and national outlets and various other entities. But the basic criteria is you got to have 10 be on a beat with a team. And then there's the national writers, the Bob Costases, the Verducci's, guys like that are on the national beat. Voting class, you can vote up to 10 guys. We had a guest on our show a few weeks ago, John Parado from Pittsburgh. He's a beat writer for the Pirates for 30 years. He certainly qualifies to be a voter, in my opinion, on that. And then talking about Bonds and Clemens, you talked about, they're being poster childs because they're better than everybody else. They were Hall of Fame players before steroids came in, before steroids. Don't tell me that the pitcher that was thrown at Bonds wasn't trying to survive, and that was the only way he could survive amongst a group of players that were better than him by not very legal means.
Sounds like Mean Girls. You know, if you're not liked and loved for any other reason, I mean, it just sounds like a Mean Girls club.
I know. Yeah, it is. Basu, did you ever get the chance of interviewing Jeff Kent?
Joe who?
Jeff Kent. Jeff Kent.
Oh, yeah, I know Jeff. I knew him since college. He went to Cal.
Yeah. So you know personally, did you get to work with him? Did you see how he was acting with the media? Because I did. It was very short and sweet with him. He wasn't wasn't a guy that would sit there and be buddies with the media. You know, did you see
No,
that?
it affects riders, and it affects riders, their relationship. I've heard some people here locally in the Bay Area that said, you know, they hope Bonds gets traded because he's a pain in their ass. And I'm going, well, that's not really the way to go about it. But you know, I've heard it said. I'm going like, separate the field from the play. I still think Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame for what he did on the field.
Right.
Now,
hey,
one more thing, Tony.
Don't trade me if I'm a pain in the ass, please. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay, well, mute. I can mute. Oh, I have control. I can mute you.
Yeah,
Hey,
right.
no, here's the point. Here's the point: is that just because you have a bad relationship doesn't mean you should alienate them from the field of play. There's absolutely no reason for that.
Right.
There was one other point I was going to make, but I can't think of it.
You're talking about Pete Rose.
Pete Rose. I mean, when you get a Hall of Fame plaque, tell me, Mike, I don't know if you've heard this from other players, but I've heard this. If you've been accused or there's word of something else that goes on in your career, but you get voted in the Hall of Fame, it's a museum. Put it on the plaque. Says "Bet on Baseball." 1985. But he's in the Hall of Fame.
Okay, so let me hold on a second. Let me go around the horn here. We're gonna go to Mike, then we'll go to Lisa, then we'll go to Stephanie. Mike, do you think? Let me first start off here. I think Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame based on his playing credentials. One of the best players ever played baseball. Not his managerial skills, and obviously not his betting skills because he knew very good at betting. So there might be another Hall of Fame for that. But that being said, because we like to joke around, Mike, what do you think?
Wow.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. You know, playing in the game myself, we know we're in the bullpen. We talk a lot of stories in the bullpen, and the consensus was Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame. I remember talking about this many times, and I think it's going to be sad. Pete Rose is going to die, then they're going to realize maybe we should put him in. I think eventually he will get in. I just don't know if that's possible. So, but overall, yeah, Pete Rose should be in for what he did on the field, and you know, I still think he should be able to come back and be able to coach somewhere. But you know what? I mean, it's betting in baseball. The commissioner has the right to do what he wants. But you know, the one thing that sticks out in my head was Major League Baseball turned a blind eye to these guys that were clearly using some performance-enhancing drugs. And they didn't care because they were filling up the stadium, they're filling up the seats. I mean, TV ratings were boosted. And all of a sudden, oh, now it's shame on you for taking those things, but we didn't know you were taking it. And the players' union's like, we're not testing for it. And the ownership is like, okay, that's fine. We're not going to test for it. We're going to be blind to it when it's blatantly obvious these guys were taking some stuff. Now, Barry Bonds was a hell of a hitter. He didn't need to take that stuff, but he did. I mean, I could maybe get sued for me saying this, but you know, but he I mean, we aren't stupid here. I mean, his head grew like 8 sizes.
Hey, I'm trying to get him on the show, man. Come on.
Tony, can I rebuttal, Mike?
Okay, all right. Let me go to Stephanie here. We got Stephanie, then we'll go to Lisa here. Hold on, Stephanie. There you go.
Okay, Mike, I love you to death. I do.
Yes.
I swear I do. I want to ask a question. So you think somebody taking sport-enhancing drugs is not as bad as and I think at the time, wasn't he a coach that he cheated? I'm only going to use this loosely because you have to tell me all the facts because I don't have all of them.
No, that's right.
That's okay. So which one's worse, and why would one be able to go into the Hall of Fame, but the other one would not?
Well, no.
Okay. So let me go back to Mike here. Mike, because first of all, when she said bet, he never bet on his team. Just so we clarify that. Only bet.
So he bet against other teams against themselves. So where's the betting again?
Mike and Basu probably know a little bit more than I know about it.
I don't know if it was like true proof that he never bet on his team to lose. I don't know if he ever did that. Maybe that was down the road. So
let's say he did. You're saying that one is worse than the other, or one is not worse than the other?
Well, to me, I still think the guys like Bonds and Clemens, like you brought up a great point, Stephanie, that they are, what I'm trying to say is let him in the Hall of Fame, but put that little asterisk that says was accused of performance-enhancing drugs and did bet on baseball. I wouldn't mind that being in the Hall of Fame. Let him in, but let it be known, what they did on the field was this and this happened, but They were ambassadors of the game. They helped this game get bigger and bigger and bigger.
Were they not as good without the enhancing drugs? So let me go back a little bit. The years before they took their enhancing drugs, were they not as good?
They were the best players.
They
were the best players.
Right.
So that gets them into the Hall of Fame.
So let me ask you this, guys. Picture this as a tombstone. Great father, great brother, shitty husband. or great husband, great brother, shitty grandfather. I mean, people do that on their tombstone. Why not? Like what Basu said, put it on your thing. Now, again, going back to what you were saying, Stephanie, I'm going to bring everybody in on this.
Yeah.
Pete Rose did bet on baseball.
Okay.
But not, and Basu, correct me if I'm wrong. Not
I
while
don't think he did.
Not while he was.
Maybe he did. Maybe he did.
But he broke a rule, Tony. Let's go back to the rule.
That's a rule in baseball.
Hold on a second, though. But he bet when he was a manager, not as a player. So a player he's not getting inducted in the Hall of Fame as a manager. He's getting inducted in the Hall of Fame as a player.
Okay, that's a rule. You're right. So the guidelines for getting into the Hall of Fame need to be outlined in that way. So the guys that took enhancing drugs, if they were being put into the Hall of Fame while they were doing the drugs, there's a problem there because they broke a rule of playing baseball. So the guy that broke the rule about betting broke a rule.
Okay. All right, so let me be the devil's advocate because I am the host of this great show that's Amore, 8 p.m. every Tuesday. Mike Gallo, the star of the show with Lady D. We're gonna get to you, Lady. You've been quiet again. I don't want that to happen.
I'm sorry. I just like listening to everybody.
I want to bring this. I want to bring this to you on this question. 90%, and sorry, a lot of these guys that I've had on my show, but I've talked to them and they tell me in the old days, a lot of them effed around. A lot of them did dope. A lot of them went out to strip bars and did the white stuff. A lot of them,
Mikey.
But here's the thing, though. They didn't get caught because they didn't have the cameras. They didn't have people taking pictures and trying to sit there and extort them for money. So, Lisa, let me ask you this. Do you think, though, it's just a different era that we're in? By the way, you look great. I love the outfit. I don't know if that's a PJ. I don't know what it is, but it's just unbelievable. I'm going to get one next week.
I have the same one.
Oh, man. You guys should make a Christmas card. You guys should make a Christmas card together on that one.
Don't tempt me, Tony. I respect your husband at the moment.
Lisa, then we'll ask you about the 70-inch TV, how that's going. But go ahead.
Oh my God. Okay, no. Yeah, I know we're living in a different time now. I'm like, you can just they see you and they can just take a picture and it can just circulate like in 1 second. They just take it, put it in their social media. Oh, he's sniffing cocaine and whatever, and he's partying it up, and they're going to the strip club. So yeah, at that time we did in the 80s, mid 90s, whatever, 70s, 60s. We didn't have anything back then but AOL. I mean, like,
AOL. By the way, I think she still has AOL.
I have AOL.
I do. Let me ask you this though. You know, out of all these people, all these players that come on to our shows, and you talk about we were supposed to have Sievers on, and he played for the Hurricanes.
I'm gonna bust his chops.
That's right. We're gonna bust his chops right here. He played for the Hurricanes, Miami.
Right.
Miami was notorious for being badasses. The Hurricanes, baseball, football, the whole deal. Basu, you know about that.
Yeah, University of Miami. Yeah,
we had Chuck Foreman on, and he sat there and said, "You know what? There would have been more ball players that would have went to University of Miami, but they instead went the other route into the other field, which we won't talk about. But they were unbelievable players. So they all did something wrong. What I'm trying to say is that we're judging not based on our accomplishment. We're judging based on what people think.
Saying.
Right.
And to me, when people think, we'll go about this. We'll talk about this again a little bit here. What happened to me last night? But you can't judge me because I have a hat on and I look like a hoodlum. Or look at my hair now, and I look like a troll.
So we go back to what Kurt was saying, right, Tony? Is he doesn't like who's voting people in. So I agree with all of you, except everybody understands that I'm more of the emotional side of all of these podcasts. Is there's rules. There's rules of getting into Baseball Hall of Fame. And if you break those rules, then you shouldn't get in.
Yeah.
But we are now discussing what those rules are. And as of right now, from what I understand you guys are saying and what you read, is that they're being judged by people that shouldn't be judging them. We should have the the people that do the stats, the people that say this guy hit this many home runs, this guy slid into home base this many times, he did 10 times better than the other players during that year, whatever. That should be who's judging them into the Hall of Fame. But if you're telling me that we don't have those rules down right now, then it's hard for people to say that somebody that bet or somebody that did drugs or somebody that killed their second cousin, but got out of prison for it, whatever, then we need to understand what the rules are of getting into the Hall of Fame.
Well, and I'm going to give you.
I agree with Kurt because he just said he shouldn't get in. He doesn't give a shit what the writers say because they're judging him on personality and not on the stats of him getting into the Hall of Fame. I
agree with you. Now let me throw this out. Oh, I love the hair, by the way.
I love it. Keep it.
I like it, baby.
Love it.
Looking good, baby. Hey, Michael Vick.
Oh God.
Okay, hold on. I know where you're gonna go, Steph.
Okay.
Inhumane to animals, but he got a second chance.
Right.
And that's what our society is so great about. What we hear in America that we live, we get second chances to try to do the right thing. Did he? I'm not going to be the judge of that because I've got my own issues. It's
your show. Why? Tell us your opinion.
It's not my show. It's Gallo and Lady B's show. We're just guests on it. We're privileged to be on there. What my point is that who are we to judge people? Who are we to sit there and say we're going to get 30 people, we're going to get them in a room because they have credentials as writers?
Right.
And Vasu, I know that you work in the industry, and we all kind of work in this type of industry, but I can get 30 people off the street that are like David Andrews, that are true, authentic baseball fans that they know the game in and out. They can probably do a better job in inducting people in the Hall of Fame or whatever it is going.
Right.
So let's get off this subject for a second. Well, actually, it's not. We're going to stay on it. So last night I had a little issue, and Lisa wanted me to tell the story, so I'll tell it real quick. So I go to Stater Brothers, a local store in town, and I find a phone that's sitting outside right when we walk in. Now I actually do have my earphones on like this, and I had my hood on, and it was black, and it was cold, man. It just started hailing down here, so it was freezing cold, and this is abnormal for Poway, right? So I find this phone, and I know the people in there, and I sit there, and I've got my mask. I got one of these surgical masks on instead of the one that you put on in front of your mouth. So I'm talking to the girl, and I said, I know this lady, and I don't want to leave it here because she probably doesn't remember. I know how hard it is to find a phone. Sometimes you can go crazy. She had like 18 credit cards in there. So I'm sitting there at the corner. So I'm not outside the door. I'm right in, so I'm not freezing, right? So I get one of these so-called managers, which is, I don't even want to be rude because I'm not that type of person.
Manager.
She said she was a manager, but all she is was a key clerk. And she comes up to me and says, "Sir, you're loitering. You need to leave." It gets better, Mikey. It gets better. So I looked at her. I said, "What am I doing, loitering?" I said, "No, I'm trying to figure out whose phone." She goes, "Well, you need to leave." She comes back and hands me a mask. Okay? One of these blue masks, the ones that you go in the hospital.
Yeah.
She said, "You need to wear this, and I'm kicking you out of the store." She's basically, I kind of like, not got an argument, but a little rebuttal. When I said, "What are you talking about? I got a mask." I said, "Please, I'm not bothering you. I'm sitting here. Just leave me alone. I'm trying to find." She goes, "You need to wear this, and I'm kicking you out of the store." And I looked at her and I said, "What?" And I said, she goes, "I'm calling the police if you don't leave."
Oh my God.
I swear on the Bible. And I walked out and I looked at her. I said, "You know what, lady?" I said, "I don't think you really know who I am." And I sat there and I looked at her. I said, "But tomorrow your manager will know who you are." So, and I said, and so one of the managers was actually there that knew me, and he came out and he apologized profusely. He said, "I'm sorry that you said we called the police." I said, "I don't care about that. I know all the cops. I could care less about that." I'm trying to figure out where this lady's phone, and it took me a half an hour. I finally called Arizona because there was numbers on there. The person said to call me back. I said, "Hey, Diana." I said, "No, this is Tony." She's like, "Well, who are you?" I said, "I found her phone." So finally, half an hour later, 45 minutes later, the lady called me. Her husband called me on the phone, got her the phone. She was crying. This is like, she was probably in her 70s, 65, 70. She's crying, saying thank you. And I sat there and thought to myself, I'm like, most people would have told that person at the store to fly a kite, not politely, and maybe not really cared about the phone, just dropped it and said, "You know what, I don't need this." But I said, "There you go." She judged me because I wore, this is not even the hat that I had on. I had a black hat.
You looked homeless. You looked homeless, buddy.
That with the beard and then the surgical. The best part was when she handed me a mask and said, "You need to wear this." And I said, "I'm not wearing it."
Excuse me, I got a mask.
Hey, do you got one of the field masks? Is that what you have?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
The one that looked like.
Yeah, I have a lot of doctor friends.
I like it. Oh my God. You know what you should do, Tony? You should go find that lady again that yelled at you, bring her some flowers and go, "I'll accept your apology."
No, you know what I actually was gonna do? And because I'm one of these guys, and Basu knows this, I kind of do it nonchalantly to get. I just was gonna go and say, "Hey, if you really need to take a day off, I'll sit there and pay for your day off."
Yeah.
And I know how hard it is being, but for her, and this was like 6:30, 7 o'clock at night.
How old was she? Oh, she
had to be in her maybe late 40s. But see, then I posted it on Facebook about the phone if anybody knew this person, and I got a whole bunch of posts. And then a couple people that knew me that I was at the store, they were actually assistant store managers that know me, and they contacted me. Goes, "Tony, who was the lady? I'll sit there and talk to her tomorrow." I said, "Listen," I said, "she's got enough issues. If she's got to do that, she's got enough issues." And I'm not trying to get her fired, but my point being is that, you know what? You don't judge because
a book by the cover.
That's exactly what
she did. Another mask.
Look, Vasu, I know, but hey, I'm right with you. You know what? I hate to say it, and I'm repeating it.
Yeah.
It's cancel culture. We are in a cancel culture.
Yeah.
If you don't dot your I's and cross your T's,
of course,
we're in trouble.
Hey, I agree. I agree with you.
It's scary.
All I ever tried to do in 20 years at Fox is just be fair. Don't judge the athletes. Judge the athletes by how they play. If you have a bad encounter with them, it's a personal issue. You leave the personal issue. You talk to the individual. You try and figure out how to either resolve the issue or you just don't deal with the issue at all. But on the other hand, just because you have a personal issue, I don't think it's the right of the player to keep anybody from doing their job either. And I think for the most part, 90% of the players were good about it. If you've got a personal issue with a writer or something like that, the best thing you can do is talk to the writer. Talk to the writer and do it personally. Don't put it out in the press. Don't put it out on social media. Don't do any of this stuff. The last few years, Schilling has been the way he's been because he got fired from ESPN and whatever reasons, and he just goes on. He's on with that. And then it's just a matter of we're all adults here. I mean, let's just try and work things out without going after each other's necks.
I mean,
I've got bad encounters with players. I got to know Bonds really well.
Hold on a second. Hold on. You're saying, because Lee, what's his name? Lee Hacksaw, whatever his name was. The one
Hacksaw.
Right.
Show me your lightning bolt.
Chargers hated him.
I know they did.
They kicked him out of he couldn't be one of their writers. And because
he was there after Tony.
Right, I know that. They hated him. And they basically got rid of him because he would say things that the quote unquote Chargers didn't like what was said.
Yeah.
But at least he was honest and said, "Hey, if the guy effed up, he effed up." But my point going back is you're saying with what Kurt, if Kurt has an opinion, he wants to say it. I agree.
I didn't say that. He has every right to his opinion. But when you give your opinion, there's consequences to your opinion. It's like yelling fire in a movie theater. That's your opinion, but it's also illegal.
Absolutely. There's no movie theaters open, by the way.
I know. That's the point.
Hey, I'm going to bring up a great
Let's just get back in. There she is.
Yeah,
Sorry.
She had to take a potty break.
Welcome back, Steph.
I had to feed the cat.
We let our
Couldn't do that on camera.
Hey, don't say anything about her cat. I already put my foot in mouth. Don't say anything.
Yeah. Basu.
Hey, do we all remember the famous Jim Rome interview with Jim Everett?
Jim Everett, yeah.
That was beautiful. And Jim Everett looks right at him and goes, look, I've been taking a lot of your smack, but if you call me Chris one more time.
Yeah, I remember. And you know what saved him? What saved him was that Al Michaels came on the next day and backed Jim Rome up because he knew it was a stick and saved his career.
Oh, I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah. Jim Rome. Actually, he became pretty popular, man. I mean,
he still is.
Yeah, he still is.
He's got his own show.
And by the way, he's from our neck of the woods down here.
He's from Calabasas, actually.
Well,
he started down there. He started his career down there.
Right. He's from he lived in close by Poway, but yeah, he's from our neck of the woods. He knows a lot of people down here. But that being said, hey, everybody makes mistakes. I mean, I've called you Basu, I've called you Charlie before, and Mike, I've called you Dick before. I mean, Lisa, I don't know what I've called you, but
you called her hot.
Called her for breakfast. What?
Late for breakfast.
All right, let's talk a little bit.
That's Amore. What are you talking about?
Let's talk a little bit about football here. We got Rob that says KC is about to get back-to-back Super Bowl champs. I'm warming my hands up here because I think this is going to be a pretty good round robin for our fight of the night. Here we go.
Yes.
Sock 'em.
Hey, do you remember these things? Rock 'em,
sock 'em.
I just throw them now. I don't.
Have you played this life-size ones over at Dave and Buster's?
Oh my God, I love those ones.
They're so awesome.
I haven't had a chance because we've been on lockdown for the last year.
Okay, I didn't mean like recently ding dong.
No. So now I just hope these guys do this.
Before you actually get behind them and you're the socking one and you get to put their arms and stuff up. It's fun at Dave and Buster's. It's awesome.
Well, once things open up, we're gonna sit there and get Gallo. We'll do a stables reunion at Dave and Buster's. Gallo will support us with all the alcohol needs that you need. That's not a problem.
Got it.
You know? And eggnog. Hey, Lisa, eggnog. Don't worry about it. We'll get that too.
Hey, are we gonna talk Super Bowl now?
Yes.
Let's talk football. We got. What do you have in there?
Hey,
oh my!
No, not the Packers, the Bills.
Hey, I gotta ask Basu. Do you think the NFL scripted?
No.
Oh my God!
Okay.
Shut up.
Too much money involved, and there's too much money. You mean like fixed?
I think the NFL wanted Brady in there the way they ref that game.
No.
You don't think so?
All right, let me wait. Let's go to Lisa on this because she's a resident handicapper and betting guru. Obviously, Basu is too, but he's not as good as the girls are. I don't judge.
Sorry, Basu.
I don't judge his looks because I know the nose don't stop growing, so I'm worried about mine growing. So we got to stop.
Wow, his nose. You said his nose, right?
Yeah.
My nose.
Yes, I don't go there. Come on,
Hey, tomorrow's show.
I only bet one way. That's it. Only one way that I bet.
Breakout.
And it's with red, not blue.
Oh God! Now it's politics.
We're gonna say. Oh, actually, I never realized that. Anyways, Lisa,
red was his portfolio. I thought that's what he meant.
Yeah, just about. Hey, Lisa. So Vasu says there's no rigging in sports, or there's no set. Well, in sports in general, I'm going to talk about here. Right. I happen to think that boxing is very much so rigged to a point where they may not have someone win or lose, but a lot of draws because it brings back the contention of having another fight, bigger money. I've talked about Sue about this, where in college they'll score and they'll keep scoring. They'll go and go and go and go. They'll draw the score up 50 points, and the spread is only 20. But in football, I tend to see a lot of times that they're going for 2 points when they don't need to. You happen to miss a chip shot when you haven't missed a chip shot in 15 tries. You're not going on fourth and inches, and instead you're putting the ball, and it's like it doesn't make sense. So
The coach.
well, we're gonna ask Lisa on this one because she hasn't talked much tonight, so I want to give her time. Do you think sports are rigged?
I never believed that sports was rigged. I always believed that it just happened. They lost, but I don't know now. Like right now, that's what I want to ask the real athletes. Like, do you think sports can be rigged? Because now it's making me believe when I listen to other people and they believe like, oh, this is scripted. Brady was supposed to win this. Brady is going to win this, against Mahomes. He was supposed to be, they're like, oh, there's a storyline, Tampa Bay. And he went with Tampa Bay. He wanted to show off that he can do it without Belichick and the Patriots. And look at it. They did it. They made it. And they were what was their odds on even making it to the Super Bowl or the playoff? Because they were huge underdogs.
If I remember correctly, in the beginning of the year, I think they were like what 200
to 1? 10-1 or 12-1.
Oh,
yeah, they were
higher than that.
No, they were about 12-1. When Brady signed, they were about 12-1.
Okay,
and I'll say this: I don't know much about boxing. I don't know much about the individual sports. Mike can answer this better. It is hard to get team sports to be rigged. You have to get everybody on the same page. And
I agree.
Yeah, but you never know.
It's really hard to do that.
Well, what about the referees getting on the same page?
Yeah, exactly. How can it be the referees going
That's
on the same
crazy
page?
talk.
Or I've never heard anybody that lost a game say it wasn't rigged.
Yeah, that's what they always say when they lose it. It's rigged. I'm like,
I never knew a guy to win $1 million to go to Gamblers Anonymous the next day either.
Right.
It's rigged.
Tony, you played.
I said that with
Hold on. The whole season reel you guys in. You guys are getting excited now. I know that. I love it. I love the excitement. I love it. Stables Media, we love the excitement here. But let me ask you this.
Mike's raising his hand.
There was a play in college, maybe about a month ago. It was one of the games. And all they had to do was sit there and kneel down and win the game, but they decided they want to go for a touchdown, and they fumbled it and gave the other team. The other team came back and won.
Yeah.
You're telling me that's is there just mental farts by the coach? Or is there something saying, hey, wait a minute, we need to maybe, and I'm not saying conspiracy theory because I don't believe any of that, but it just doesn't make sense sometimes.
Mike does.
Yeah, Mike does.
There's too much money involved, Tony. The bets that are out there are not what the salaries are nowadays.
There's too many people involved.
Ladies and gentlemen, and Tony, you played football. I think there's holding on every damn play.
Absolutely.
No matter if they want to call it or not.
Absolutely.
Right.
But Troy Aikman made that call on Friday. He said there's holding almost on every play. They let Green Bay play that whole game. And the last play on third and whatever it was.
He did grab the jersey.
Yes, the guy was holding on that, but I saw a lot of when what's his name threw balls that for Green Bay that there was holding on their receivers and they were called. Yeah. But here's the key factor in that game that I think that happened. And Basu will go around the horn here we've got about maybe 20 more minutes and we'll sit there and shut it down. Actually 15 more minutes. I think the key factor in that game was, and I think we talked about this earlier, Mike, was at the last play of the second half. Of the second quarter going into the halftime. Yeah. When it was 4th and 1, and they at first we're going to go for the
prevent defense.
Right? Yeah. Well, that's another subject that we'll talk about. But how do you let your guys get behind you?
Yeah, I didn't understand it.
And they scored 7 points. It wasn't a 3-point differential because they would have kicked that field goal. But he said, "No, we're going to go for it, and then we'll try." And they didn't have any timeouts.
Yeah.
So they're looking at it, it's like, hey, so you know they're going to go for a touchdown or a quick slant. Let them get a field goal. Who cares? Not a touchdown. That to me, I think, changed the whole dynamics of that game. But
Kevin King had a bad game. He let 3 guys score touchdowns on him, and he did not play like he did all year. And it started with the first drive when Tampa Bay went up 7-0. Miller gets behind him on the halftime, and then the fumble right after halftime, and then one play, and they got a touchdown after that. That was just a bad game for Green Bay defense.
I mean, why can't they bench him at that point? Can't they have a backup?
Aaron Jones didn't come back into the game.
Nope. Aaron Jones looked like a wussy, I'll be honest with you, and I love Aaron Jones.
Why didn't Rodgers run in? Why didn't
that
he
was
run
a great
in?
question. I posted that today at our show today too. I asked that too. They had a wide open thing. What?
Was he afraid he was going to get hit? Because he
No.
had a free open. It was open.
He was trying to force a pass to Adams so bad. It was so
twice.
bad.
Yeah.
Okay, so we talked about this too earlier, Vasu, that you're in here on that. Do you think that was the biggest blunder as a coach, not letting one of the MVP go for it on 4th down and whatever it was, 8, and either you make it or you're still pinning them down. Either way, you're trying to do the same thing. The 3 points didn't make a difference. Except
nobody knows for sure, but let me say this real quickly on this, Tony. They didn't. They went for a 2-point conversion earlier. They didn't get it. Right. If they go for it on 4th down and they're down 8, I think he was afraid that they weren't going to get a 2-point conversion to tie the game up. And so if you kick a field goal and you get the ball back, you don't need to worry about a 2-point conversion at the end of the game.
Okay, but here's my theory. But here's my theory on this. So you score a touchdown, you don't get the 2-point conversion. Okay, you're down now by what, 2 points?
5.
Oh, 5 points. What? No, because they were down. They were
23. They were down 20.
They were down by 5 points at the time.
Oh, at least that.
No. Let's go back. They were down by 8 points. They needed a 2-point. They needed a touchdown.
Down by 8.
Right. They were down by 8.
The other touchdown. Okay. All right. Yeah. At the end of the game, you're right.
They were down by 8. So they scored a touchdown. They don't get the 2-point conversion. So now they're down by 2. You do an onside kick, or you do what you wanted to do originally. And sit there and kick the ball deep, and you've got all 3 of your timeout. So what's the difference? That's my point. Hey, so
because he was scared based on the fact that he didn't get the previous 2, and he had 3 timeouts and the 2-minute warning, so he had 4 timeouts to try and stop it.
You guys know what this is?
Yeah, that means it's butthole. Hey, that means it's
butthole. Under pressure
painting.
Severe tire damage, no backing up.
Okay, so
sorry, that's a gay joke. Sorry.
Oh my God, where do we go in these shows?
Severe tire damage, no backing up. I get it.
Oh my God, no,
all I know is the LA Kings won tonight. I'm a Kings fan.
I'm just going to tell you something.
The Blackhawks too.
Yeah,
Blackhawks.
Let's bring that rivalry back.
Right?
I love how the men just go to sports when you talk about.
We're gonna sit there and I'm gonna get rained back into the show here.
Poop shoot.
No, poop shoot.
Back the car slowly up.
Slowly.
Okay, sorry. Hey, Mike Gallo, you guys ever watched the movie America Me?
Ooh, maybe.
You know what I'm talking about. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Maybe. Remember it.
Okay.
Have you seen it?
Watch it. It's called America Me. Watch it. About Italian mob, Mexican mob, and we'll talk about severe tire damage.
God, I don't want to see that.
I don't even want to see that.
I don't need to see nothing in the poop shoot.
I know what it is.
I like my poop shoot.
Hold on a second. It wasn't.
I'm living that with real cookies. What are you talking about?
It wasn't that way. It was. I'll give you just a quick gist of it. They had a Christmas tree night. And once it goes in, it's like a fish hook. It don't come out.
Oh, okay.
That's mafioso.
I'm straight.
That's mafia, baby. We talked about that. So, okay. We got a few more minutes, and then we're going to sit there and go watch America Me.
Rob has a question.
You have a question? Is that your hand up? Okay, from now on, you guys either raise your hand up, you don't get called out. We're in school. School's in session here. All right.
Rules.
Super Bowl. We got Super Bowl
God.
coming up in 2 weeks. Actually,
Okay.
a little bit less than 2 weeks.
Okay.
Tampa is favored. No, Tampa is
Kansas City's favored.
Kansas City is favored by 3. Now Tampa's at home, so technically that would have made, in my opinion, and I'll get to you, Gallo, in a second. That would have made, in my opinion, that Kansas City should have been favored by 6.
Yeah.
Right. Me too. I would have thought that too.
Because now they're playing at home. So let's go to Gallo on this, and then I'll go to you, Stephanie, real quick.
Yeah.
Gallo, do you think? I mean, we're gonna say this. I mean, Brady's playing at home. They're gonna allow how many fans are they gonna allow?
12,000.
12,000.
Cheapest ticket, $85,000.
What, 8,000?
Hey, you guys are all invited to my Super Bowl party.
Yes.
No, but hey, I'm ready. Tony.
Make sure you get tested.
Oh no, we're good. COVID's out of my house.
Not you. Everybody else.
I ain't leaving my house. It has to be a virtual party.
23 times. I've been tested 23 times already, so I'm fine.
Shit, well, I had COVID.
Wow.
Did you get the vaccine, Fausto?
I'm not eligible for the vaccine yet. I'm not essential.
5 years
He's
old.
like 65.
I'm not essential.
His ethnic group is never mind.
Tony.
Don't talk about because the Latinos are supposed to be high rate with COVID.
He has a lot of doctor friends. He'll get his vaccine. Don't worry.
He's not going to get the vaccine. He's going to get
One
What are we
way-
talking about?
Hey, one way or another, he'll get his shot in his ass. Don't worry.
True.
Who are we talking about?
We're talking about Tampa Bay. Dude, never mind. We're talking about
I got the winner right here.
Give Mike the mic.
Tampa Bay, KC favored by 3.5. Actually, I think it is.
Yep.
Okay.
But what do you think, Gallo?
I'm gonna tell you, every team that's beaten the Packers in the NFC, there's no pattern here. The Niners beat the Packers last year, and the Niners took a shit. So what I'm saying is, I'm looking at the home dog here, home dog, and Tom Brady has got weapons. Leonard Fournette is running the ball like he did his first couple years in Jacksonville. I'm telling you right now, Tampa Bay wins this game. They win the game. I might go Tampa money line. I'm not.
All right. Well, that wouldn't be. That's not. I mean, Tampa money line. I don't know what it is, but
Plus
isn't,
170.
150. It's like 150.
isn't their star receiver? He's coming
He'll
back.
be back. Antonio Brown will be back.
Yeah. So
2 weeks.
yeah, you've got
He'll be in
another
jail.
weapon. Yeah. Okay. So Lisa, who do you have?
Tampa Bay. I'm going to go with the GOAT.
The GOAT.
I'm going to go with the GOAT.
He
The
looks
hell
like
is
a
a GOAT?
He wants to Brady. Brady's the GOAT.
He's a goat.
Brady's the GOAT.
Oh,
I even knew that.
The greatest of all time. I don't think that. I mean, people
That's
call me
what I
that.
was like,
People call me that before, and I just like, nah, no.
I'm the GOAT.
You're
No,
the Indians, Tony. You.
Mikey, you are the goat.
The greatest of all time. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't think that's what I meant. I don't think that's what I meant when they were talking to you, Tony.
Lisa, thank you so much. Hey, when they were talking about you, they were talking about the Indian wedding with the donkey and the goat.
The lamb.
and the elephant.
The white horse. The
What
white
is it?
horse wedding.
The Dow, what is it when you have to like pay the parents with the goat and the chicken and all that to marry their daughter?
The dowry. I'm the
The
man.
dowry.
I get the dowry. I get the dowry.
I have
Bring it
goats
on,
outside.
bring it on. I get the dowry.
I have goats and chickens. What do I need to marry you?
Stephanie Gallo, can you do this right now? Can you do your screen? So Gallo, wait, I gotta tell the story. So Gallo comes on our show on Freedom to Rock.
Oh,
This is the first time he comes on the show. All of a sudden, he's got a background of. He might be putting it up now. So
Oh,
I'm like,
100 goats.
I
Yeah.
can't. I don't know if I can do it on Stables Media. On Zoom, you can do it on Zoom.
so he has a background, first of all, of I don't know if it's chipmunks with balls right above his head.
What?
Oh yeah, what right? So and he's bald headed, so he's got these things right on him.
No, I got hair.
Right. So then I tell him that Basu being Indian, they have an Indian wedding. They come in an elephant and a donkey, right?
No,
So
a
he-
white horse, not a donkey. You donkey.
No, why? I don't know. I've seen
Yes.
whatever it is. But He brings in a white horse with a donkey and an elephant together.
Oh,
It was dude, we laughed so hard. You got to do that again, Gallo.
You should make it the thumbnail.
I know. I don't know. Hey, wait, Tony, is there a way you can change your background and make it whatever you want?
Yeah, dude, I tend not to change my background very much.
I know, but you gotta teach. I gotta learn how to do it on stable. I want to do it on.
Yeah, I'll show you. I'll show you how to do that. You know, if you ask your 10-year-old, your 13-year-old, she'll show you everything.
Yeah, I don't have one. I didn't get the big enough dowry.
I gotta come to.
Vasu doesn't have a 13-year-old in his life.
Because I didn't get a dowry because I didn't get married.
Right.
So I don't have a 13-year-old.
Nobody wanted to ride the white horse.
Nobody wants to ride the white horse. The Indian horse, Tony. The Indian horse.
Oh my God, dude! Hey, speaking of friends, I gotta do a shout out to a friend that I've come to know very well. Her name is Gina, and she actually worked for Fox, Vasu.
Mm-hmm.
And she was one of the essential workers that actually tested all of the Fox employees that when she traveled throughout the whole nation.
Wow.
Football.
I want that job.
And she said it was,
you did not want that job. I can guarantee it.
You know what, Vasu? She said it was one of the best jobs she had. She said she had, I mean, they treated her like a queen. Obviously, they set up in certain areas, but they tested, they had to do protocol for the NFL, protocol for obviously what team they had, if it was Aikman's team or, A team, B team, or C team. Mm-hmm. And they also had to do protocol if they were on CBS.
Right.
Things. So she said that, so I wanted to give her a shout out. Her name's Gina.
So she's giving the test? She's actually doing the tests?
Yes, she's actually supervising
everybody giving the test, because giving the test is not that great.
Well, I think she probably was supervised. I mean, from when
I'd like to stick a needle in your butt, Vasu.
Sorry,
it's getting hot here.
Oh man!
I gotta look at the definition of what flirting is, but I'm not sure that's it.
It's my flirting tonight on a Tuesday evening. Yes.
Speaking of segue, we're going to give you the segue here because you said you have something you want to stick in Vasu's butt.
Yeah.
Tomorrow you have a very special show, Pondering Mics.
Yes.
Featuring Ms. Stephanie on the Stables Media Network at 6 p.m. to Wednesday night. I almost said Tuesday. Wednesday night.
Oh.
I will let the forum come to you and tell us who do you have on.
Well, first of all, let's go back to Super Bowl because you never came to me.
I didn't ask you that question.
That's okay. Well, I'll say my stuff. We'll talk about Vasu's butt. We'll do all of it. So
I like my butt. Thank you.
I haven't seen it yet.
What's
we'll
up,
see.
Gina?
Gina's in the house. Oh, Joe, Brady.
She goes for Brady too.
Now
I actually
wait, hold on a second. Hold on. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Now, all of a sudden, Joe loves Brady because Joe hates Brady. Joe hates Brady.
I hate Brady too. I put my money on Brady.
Now all of a sudden, Brady.
I'm getting my money back from losing on the Packers on Brady.
Can I just say one thing? I am so glad that things are finally working out for Tom Brady after all these years. I know he's had a
dude.
Brady's Joe's go-to guy now, I guess. Well,
really?
Okay, well, I mean, not a bad-looking guy. I mean,
Joe can do better. Joe can do better.
No, have you seen Giselle?
I don't give a crap. Joe could do better. I like him.
What's that hockey? Hockey guy.
But I did bet, and I almost threw up at my office. I did bet that they will be up. Tom Brady will be up in the first half because I think that Kansas City does better in the second half always. So I did pick Brady for the first half, but I did pick Kansas City for the win. So I have money on the first half. Yeah.
Joe, I like. I love money, not Brady.
Yep. I like Joe more.
If you ever need,
we're all in the same group, Joe. We're all in the same group, Joe.
If you ever need any kind of visual for Vasu about the butt thing, whatever, I can help you out.
Yeah.
You didn't even do that part right. You had back to back. What the?
I don't even know what you guys do on that.
You need help.
What do you do this? I mean, that I heard there's like a move the scissors or something like that. Is that called the scissors?
What fetish?
I get invited on and people talk about my butt. I like that. That's nice.
Yeah. We all want to poke your butt, Sue.
This is great. Let's go back to your pick, Stephanie. Go ahead.
Thank you. That was my pick, and that's all the only bet I made. And
the win. Moving on.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on a second. You only made the first half bet saying
No, I made a first half bet that one team would be over the other team because I don't know how to bet very well. So I bet that, and then but I did pick Kansas City to win. I don't want either one of them to win. I really would have liked to see Green Bay. I would have liked to see New Orleans. I would have liked to see the old guys go out with a bang. But so I this Super Bowl, young guy versus old guy. Then I want the young guy to kick the old guy's ass out of football. So that's
Hey, do you think there's a prop? Do you think there's a prop in Vegas? Who's had their prostate checked first, Brady or Mahomes?
I think both of them have fingers up their butts this week. Absolutely.
Yeah, I hate Brady.
Let's go to our resident butt man, Basu.
So I'm an ass, huh? Is that what you're saying?
Well, you said you were a horse, a white horse. We're going to call you an ass.
You said horse or whore? Because I'm both, I guess.
You're the only guy. You're the only guy that sits there and puts out that you've been tested 23 times and you still can't get a date.
Tested 23 times.
You still can't get a date.
COVID.
I think it goes just so they can poke him in the butt on purpose. Please poke me. Yeah. Go ahead.
That sucks.
Oh my God, dude. All right, Basu.
Tampa Bay is a different team than when they played the Chiefs the first time. They're playing a lot better now. They're getting points at home in their home stadium. First time a team has played at home since the 49ers. That doesn't count. Since the Rams, that doesn't count. Except for Miami. Except I said on my show when the Miami Dolphins played their championship game when Jim Carrey was trying to rescue Dan Marino and Ace Ventura. They played in their home stadium that year.
I asked him. Wait, hold on, Del. I asked him for the baby. He gives me all the labor pains.
I love it. I love it.
Just give me the pick.
It's facts.
Tampa Bay.
But he back it up with the facts.
Tampa Bay. Okay, let me ask you. Do you like the over on this?
Yes.
Matthew likes to be under.
I didn't ask you. I know you played a show, but
I think first.
It's gonna be over.
Mikey, he likes to be under, doesn't he? You would know.
He's got a bad back.
Yeah.
Hey, Basu, do you like? Are you over under? Do you like the 2-point conversion?
If there's a weight limit involved, then yeah, definitely over versus under.
Wow.
2-point conversions.
We do not condone
3-point stands. Everything.
We don't discriminate on weight here.
No,
Thank you.
No, I have to know which way to go.
Hold on a second.
Well, if you don't know which way to go, I don't know.
I'm not that strong. I'm not that strong. I have to figure out which way to go.
Wow. Cut it out.
Let me make a disclosure here. Okay.
The scissors.
Okay, hold on. Let me make a
Talk
disclosure.
about my show.
We do not turn and have any kind of fetish or beef with people that are overweight.
Oh, I
am a very husky man. So that being said, husky man.
He goes on the BWW web porn site.
Oh, Lisa,
I finally got that. That's what that means. I got that. I got that from
Lady D. Who do you take in the game? I'll just take it from here, Big Daddy, and take it away from sex. Lady D. Who do you got?
I said Tampa Bay.
Oh, clean sweep.
Okay, and my pick.
What's your pick?
Is
drum roll.
Also, I have to go with Tampa Bay. I think.
Wow.
I'm going to give you the labor pains here. I think playing at home, Brady. You know what, dude? I think that guy can go for another 2 years. But let me ask you this question here.
I bet he can go for 2 years. Hey.
Now we're talking again, right? All right. Hold on, Brady. Let me put you down. Brady. He's ready to pop. Hold on.
Whoop.
Okay. So if he wins the Super Bowl, that's it. If he wins, do you think he retires?
No. Mahomes?
No.
Mahomes
just got paid $540 million.
I know you see
$540 million. You can't even spend that.
That
Going
kid
to
doesn't know
India.
what to do with that money.
He bought into the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, what the hell?
Jeez.
Well, he's a smart man, but I didn't ask
He's
that.
He's not going to retire. Oh, look, a girl's calling me. I should answer.
What? Say hi to your mom. Say hi to your mom.
Hang on, I'll put her on the air. Hold on.
Mom.
Hey, you're on the air. You want to be on the air? Hang on.
Mom, is my underwear done?
Dude,
We can't hear.
what did she say? Your underwear ready?
No, she said you owe me $200 for last night's date.
No, she said under. She said under.
Under?
Okay, so, was that Joe? Was that Joe calling? That why you said that, you asshole. Okay. Now I get it. Now I get it, you dick. It took me a little while, but that's okay. I'm a little slow. I'm excited with these guys. So,
Yeah,
so I will say this. I think he retires if he wins the Super Bowl.
No.
No.
He's going to play 2 more years till he's 45. That's what he's
not
always.
going to go out with the other guys. He knows that Green Bay just went out. You know, what's his name went out. We know that New Orleans went out. We know that my guy Rivers went out. He's not going to go out with everybody else. He's going to wait another year, so it's a bigger event. He's into events like his wife.
We knew a Bay team would win the Super Bowl. It's just not the green one.
I'm on air. You want to be on air? You want to be on air with us?
You know what?
I'm sorry, Mikey. The Green Bay is not in the Super Bowl.
I want to know who Vasu talking to.
Sorry.
Is it when
I am sorry.
He says it's my girl, but I don't know what he said.
I wanted them to go too. So bad.
Everybody say hi to Janine. Everybody say hi to Janine.
Hi, Janine.
Hello.
How much are you an hour?
Are you wearing a thong?
Oh my God.
Janine, I have some ones.
She's my friend from Milwaukee, so we can't even plan how cold it is here.
You're long distance foodie in
I love
Milwaukee.
Milwaukee.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. Please fasten your seatbelts. We are in for a turbulent ride. We have a little bit of turbulence coming in from upper northeast Vasu Veta Party. That's right, Veta Party. That is
coming on the middle stage today with the motorcycle. We have Janine. What?
Okay, so now we are all calmed down, and we're gonna sit here and close out the show.
Are we calmed down?
Are we calmed down?
I don't know. The show always goes on. It always goes on longer. It's like having labor. You think it's done in 30 minutes, but it's not.
Why do you keep talking about labor, Tony?
Wait a minute. It's like
I know we always end up being like an hour, 2 hours.
I'm gonna give you a better one. I'm gonna give you a better one. Hold on. It's like being with me. I keep going on and on. And
Oh my, okay.
So you're Mariano Rivera, not Andy Pettit.
I love this show.
Close it out, big boy. Close it out.
I love you. Okay, no, I got to go to Stephanie. Stephanie, tomorrow night you got a big show coming on. Pondering Mike, Stables Media, 6 p.m. Tell us who you got on.
Guys, you better be there, all of you. I want to see comments from all of you. The dirtier, the better. I actually have a very good friend of mine on. He is well known in the LGBT drag queen community, but he is not your normal drag queen. He is foul-mouthed. You'll just wait till you see him. His name is LaDonna Monroe, and he's Glenn. Very manly guy outside of drag, but when he's in drag tomorrow, you guys are going to flip. He's just a great guy. Nothing is off limits. I asked him today. He said nothing. But
let me ask you this.
Wait, don't ask the question because you'll find out tomorrow.
I want to ask you this before I do, because I don't want to put my foot in my mouth again like I did tonight with the cat.
But I know what you're going to ask, and the answer is you will find out tomorrow how to address him.
No. I was going to ask you. You said you know him by Glenn.
I know him as LaDonna.
LaDonna.
He is my friend, Glenn.
Okay. Well, LaDonna could be a male name too.
No, his stage name, his drag name is LaDonna Monroe, and he is very well known for his Reba McEntire, a whole bunch of other personas that he brings on. But you guys are going to see a different side tomorrow to what people think drag is. People think it's dirty. People think it's sex. It's, you know, guys in heels that are meeting guys behind buildings. That's not what it is.
I don't think that's
Show.
sends pictures all the time of him wearing his dress. It doesn't matter.
I'm just telling you that these guys are well known in all of the United States and in other countries for the talent that they have. You know, you see him on RuPaul's Drag Race. I know Chad Michaels. Chad Michaels is Cher impersonator that all of you have seen on TV. You've seen him on Will and Grace. You've seen him on other shows.
Are these what's the percentage of drag? What's the percentage of drags? I know it's on your show, but I just want to ask: are straight versus gay?
That's a question we'll answer tomorrow also, because you'd be surprised. There definitely is a good majority.
She's a great teaser.
Yeah, of course.
She loves teasing.
It's one of those things where you know, I thought I was in love with one of the drag queens when I saw him in my 20s, because as a woman, he was the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. Not LaDonna, but happened to be somebody else. He was the most beautiful woman I've ever seen in my life. And then he took his makeup off and reality hit me. And I went, oh.
I'm sorry. Steph, I tried.
I like him. You know, so then I, of course, want him in drag for the rest of his life, and then I'll be in love with him. But the minute he takes it off and something falls out of his pants, then I know that I'm not in love with him anymore.
Oh, my God.
So tomorrow, Tony, this is my show. Tomorrow, you guys, LaDonna Monroe, so talented, so awesome. We're going to try to find him a date. He actually, unfortunately, lost his job when COVID happened. Obviously, there's no shows and stuff going on, but he also lost his job in the hotel industry for some events and stuff. And so, you know, I'm hoping that people that watch tomorrow realize how he's a great guy. He's very talented. The Dream Girls review that he's involved with is just amazing, you know. So, Tony, yes, sir.
You mentioned finding him a date.
Yes.
I was thinking the same thing.
Well, I no, not that way. What I'm saying, because I have tons of friends, obviously.
Sure.
So I need to know which one should I sit there and invite on.
He is a very gay man.
Basu, come on, dude. You're on, dude. I think the guy is
Basu, you're not his type. You're not his type.
How do you know? How do you know?
I do know.
What do you mean I'm not his type? Wait, I mean, he's not my type. What the hell?
Well, maybe when he's dressed up as a girl, but yeah. You guys, he's, and I don't disrespect him because I'm not. He's this funny, so he's actually really good. We're going to talk about all kinds of stuff. And I want you guys to ask questions because you know what? He's the kind of guy that I want you to ask questions to. I want you to say, you know, when you tuck, do you put tape here? Do you put tape here? Does it tear your hair off? Does it stick somewhere? I want you to ask these questions because this is my show. And I will bring you on real people, real life, real, you know, things happening in the world. And LaDonna, I can tell you right now, he shaved off his freaking beard that he's had for 2 years for me for this show tonight or tomorrow.
I saw that he had on his face because he friended me. And you know, because I asked, and he friended me, and I saw that he had shaved. I was like, wow, you know, because I will tell you this, guys. You know what? I'm just seeing some background stuff that I've done. Great guy, working in the hospitality industry, like you said. So you know, I think it's unbelievable, and it takes a lot of courage and a lot of how do I say this? Because you know what? No, I don't want to say that because I deal with the old-fashioned judgmental, Stephanie, you know what we're talking about, is that to do what he does, to do what anybody does in life. Right. And if it's something different, don't judge because
he's my friend. He's just a great guy. I hate to see him out of work right now. He owns a beautiful home in Hillcrest. You know, it's one of those things where he's also had tons of operations. He has a lot of problems with his, I think it's not gallstones, but it might be other stones.
Gallbladder?
Yeah, he has stones really bad. So, I mean, he's been in the hospital.
Kidney stones.
He's had them so bad that he's been in the hospital emergency rooms. You know, they've done tons of operations. this guy has lived it, and it's all a daily thing, man. So I just want you guys to be on tomorrow. Let's have some fun. He's going to be beautiful. He's going to be wonderful when you guys see him when we log on. And I have a co-host tomorrow, Deanne, who was on my show last week. I think I got some great feedback on her, that everybody liked her. She was funny. So it will be two of us, and I just want all of you to come. I really do.
Did I write that one off?
What?
She didn't get it.
I didn't. Sorry, I missed it.
Experience.
I just
experience.
No, I'm just no. You know what?
But every Wednesday, Pondering Nights. I need to hook it up on YouTube this week, Tony. Let's get together tomorrow early before I'll be at work, but we need to get this on. I need all of you to share. Lady D, I saw that you shared it. I love you so much for that. Mike Gallo, get your guys on there. Let's do this. Let's have a show on Wednesday nights when nobody else has a show. And mine is a little bit more down to earth, but yet, fuck, my friends are awesome. That's it.
I will say this on a serious note here, guys. And Stephanie, I told you this privately, but I'm going to say this out in public. Very proud of you. You've taken the ball and run. And I don't mean just run. You've ran and you've done everything plus more than anybody could expect.
Oh, thanks, babe.
With a network. And most people want their hand held. And I know it's tough, but we're here for you. And we're nothing but proud and love what you're doing and keep doing it. And we talk about joking around. That's my style. Obviously, my Thursday shows, but you're right. Wednesday shows, it's a must-see show. I've seen it. It's great. Gallo, she's got some great guests, and you know what? It's just upward.
And I'm going to have you guys on. I am. I mean, I want Joe on because I think Joe's spiritual in a way that I want her on. I want to talk about.
Can I tell you something though?
Yeah.
My fees to get on other shows are very, very astronomical.
You know what? Bite my ass, just like Vasu. But lady, Mike, stop. Mike, I want you on my show too. I want you on my show. I want to talk alcohol with you. I want to talk about distribution. I want to talk about, the lifestyle of alcohol at the moment. I have wine people. By the way, I just booked another show, not next week. By the way, I won't tell you who next week is because you guys are going to be excited. But the week after that, I just booked like a sushi demo live on TV with a famous sushi chef. We're going to talk about, people that might like seafood. It might be a food thing. It's going to be awesome. Every Wednesday, it's going to be different. It's not going to be the same thing. Please be a part of it. I love you all.
Very proud of you. Hey, hold on. Hey, hold on a second. Don't get excited there.
She's allowed to get excited. Leave her alone, damn it.
It's after my bedtime.
Hey, the captain says it's past her bedtime. She needs to go take her little milk and go back.
I'll take her and get some milk.
I gotta take my vitamins.
Oh my God, dude.
I gotta put these kids to bed.
Okay, hey, Lisa, I want to just say my thanks to each and every one of you. Thank you, Lisa, for coming on. You are the star of the show with Mike Gallo. We just
I love y'all taking over, so I don't have to take over. It makes
you do a great job. I'm so happy. By the way, I'm going to give the plug because Lisa hasn't. Lisa, unless you want to do it. What's coming up February 1st?
February 1st, my show with the Joe Madden and Cammy P, and it's called Hustle and Grind. Woo! Amazing guests joining us, and we're going to be talking about prop bets, and we're going to give y'all some insights on how to learn how to bet for those who want to learn how to bet. So don't forget Mondays, starting on Mondays, I think 6 p.m. February 1st, check us out, Hustle and Grind.
And it is also powered by Stables Media.
Yes,
another show on the great network. We've got 2 more shows coming on. That's obviously a Star Wars show. Vasu might be losing his spot for some reason. I don't know.
Oh, bummer.
We're going to make Vasu back for the money.
Hey guys.
Lisa, will you make me rich on Hustle and Grind?
Hopefully, that's the
goal.
That's the goal.
That's
hustle.
The goal. They're pretty hard. I'll tell you that. Joe was. I'll tell you this, and we'll leave it on this one. Joe and we talked about this on the pre-chat, Lady D. Joe was on fire, and still is. She's obviously, everybody goes through plateaus, but I mean, there was weeks that she was like 8-1.
That's
10
awesome.
into
Yeah,
one.
she
I
is.
mean, and in 3-4 days in a row. So I mean, just imagine if you bet. And I think she said one time if you bet she was up like 36 units, it would have been $100 would have turned into 3,600 in a matter of like 3 weeks or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's you know what? I've had my days and I've had my down days. What are you gonna do?
I'm having my days too. I'm not doing so good in college basketball, and I have been on fire with
Call
college
me
basketball.
for college basketball. I'm red
I
hot.
was
Oh, hey, thanks,
119.
buddy.
My score, right now my
Here's where
record
Tony comes
is
in.
That's where Lady D's talking.
I'm 120, 980 games right now. That's my record on college basketball. I'm
Nice.
really on freaking college basketball, but now
You
I'm
are
starting.
good. You are good. But you had a down streak too, 2, 3, 4 days.
I'm having my down streak right now.
It
So
happens.
now I have to like depend on hockey.
You'll do it. You'll do it.
All right, Mike. Let's close this out, Mike. How do we get a hold of you? What do we do? Besides,
Just find me on Instagram if you want to talk smack. I did get invited on this random show for Thursday. Joe actually sent me this link to a guy that wanted to interview an actual hardcore Packer fan like myself.
Yeah.
So I messaged this guy, and I'm going to be on the show on Thursday. It's going to be 8:00, I believe, my time. So I'll let you guys know. I'll put it up, and they're going to interview a Packer fan, which is me, and a Buffalo Bill fan. And Tony, I should have recommended you, but he said he already had the Bill fan.
On
Okay.
Facebook?
What's that?
On Facebook?
what show?
It's going to be on Zoom. I don't know if he's going to put it on Facebook, but he'll probably post it to it. But I'll let you guys know. This all happened so fast. I want to say earlier this morning, Joe tagged me. And this guy said, I need a diehard Packer fan for a show on Thursday. And Joe tagged me. So, wait, is Joe on there?
Yeah.
Yeah. First podcast I ever did with them. Joe, what are they? Where can they find them? Oh, we don't know sports. Something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
It's funny is I've been in contact. It's funny that you bring this up. I've been in contact with them that we might try to sit there and bring them on the network. So yeah, go.
Cool. Yeah. So you can find me on Instagram, Mike Gallo 45, and I can't wait for next week's show because for Tuesday with us guys and ladies, I want to talk about props because Super Bowl props are a lot of fun.
They are.
Yes, I can't wait because that's what we're going to talk about too.
We will talk about that. Lisa, I call you Lisa, but Lady D, the other star of the show, how can we get a hold of you?
You can find me on IG as Betting in Heels or Betting in Heels 1, or you can also find me on Twitter at Betting in Heels. Or Lady D.
Okay, now we're going to go to the other star of the shows, and that's not you, Vasu.
Hi, beautiful.
Miss
I
Stephanie,
love that, Sue.
how do we get a hold of you and give us another shout out for tomorrow?
Hey guys, obviously Pondering Mics, please, every Wednesday. If I could support you, Mike, Lady D, all you guys just keep me notified. I want to support the whole team because you guys have always been there for me. So I will be there for you. Just let me know. I have one of those 9 to 5 jobs, so obviously just tell me and I'll be there. But yes, tomorrow night, 6:00. Pondering Mics. Tony will get us live on YouTube, but we'll be live on Pondering Mics and on mine, Stephanie Harris, on Facebook. And Vasu, I love you.
Thank you.
All right, let's go to the
I'm
other.
here.
He's on the network too with Make the Money and Run. Great show every day. And
Make the money. I loved it.
We're going to make him run for his money.
Well, he knows how to grind. Let's see if he knows how to hustle.
Find out, I guess. If you missed any of the live broadcast, download and subscribe on Apple or wherever you get podcasts. We had a great guest on today, Darren Smith, a sports talk show host from Kansas City. Talked all about the Super Bowl today. It's on Facebook. It's all over the place right now. Go listen to it. He's very knowledgeable, and it was a great time talking to Darren Smith today on the show.
Hey, Vasu, did he pick the Chiefs to win?
Yeah, surprisingly.
well, hey, he works for the Chiefs, and I myself will not be on Thursday's show because I have a special engagement that I have to take care of. No, I actually have to bring my son to his eye doctor's appointment. My little guy.
Good luck.
We will have the Freedom to Rock on Friday, but Thursday's show will be going on with SoCal with my partner Joe and the great Dante Powell. But the host to this great show, myself, you can get a hold of me on Facebook, Tony Russo. Instagram, you see it, what is it? I don't even know my Instagram page.
T Russo 64.
You know what? I'm going to say this, and we get so many requests, and sometimes I always go and look at, because sometimes people, I don't even know these people, and they don't have pictures, they don't have anything, so I don't know if they're trying to hack into you because you know people, you know what I mean? Right. So, unless I really know someone, I kind of like, and I'm not trying to be rude, it's just like, I don't need someone to hack into my account because I got enough headaches as it is. So, speaking of that, guys, Tuesday nights, every night, 8 p.m. live. That's Amore, LA King Man, the great Mike Gallo, the star of the show with Lisa Diaz, Lady D. Thank you, Miss Stephanie Basu. Thank you for joining us, giving us the insight on sports. You guys have been listening to Powered by Stables Media. That's Amore every Tuesday. Love you guys. Have a great night. Stay blessed. And everybody out there listening, thank you so much for your comments. Joe, I hope you have a great night. Gina, Rob, all you guys. Have
Love
a
you, Joe.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, Lady D. Bye, Mikey.
We will all support you tomorrow.
Lady D, I'll see you in the morning.
Yep.